Boom! What's going on, everyone? It's Steve Larsen. This is Sales Funnel Radio, and today I'm going to teach you how to pull off a quiz funnel.
I've spent the last 4 years learning from the most brilliant marketers today. And now I've left my 9-to-5 to take the plunge and build my $1 million business. The real question is, how will I do it without VC funding or debt, completely from scratch? This podcast is here to give you the answer. Join me and follow along as I learn, apply, and share marketing strategies to grow my online business using only today's best internet sales funnels. My name is Steve Larsen, and welcome to Sales Funnel Radio.
What's up, guys? I've actually been super stoked about this episode. So, recently I've been doing this inside of my own funnels, which I've been very excited about. Now, if you think about this, so actually I'll just tell you, one of the first projects I was a part of when I first started working over at ClickFunnels was it's so funny I say that phrase all the time. It's because there were so many projects going on all the time. Anyway, this is one of them towards the beginning. And what it was I went through and I started doing a deep dive of the top quizzes, the top converting quizzes that were going on in other people's funnels. And it was cool because Russell knew already what a lot of them were. So he gave me a whole bunch of lists. He gave me lists of all these different quizzes. And at the end of the quiz, it asked for the individual's information in order to get the opt-in and start a free mini course or start a, whatever, or send them to a free plus shipping something. In fact, one of the most successful funnels I had early on, this is before I worked with Russell, it was a medical quiz, right? And it wasn't for medical stuff, but basically what they did is they went through and it's actually the funnel hacking of me going through and doing that made my first big funnel successful, my big first success story, which actually I used as a case study when I applied for ClickFunnels, which is kind of cool. And it was a quiz, okay? And they went through and they answered all these questions, and at the end of it, it said, hey, do you want your results? Put your email in here. And based on what they said inside the quiz, it sent a specific email, but then invite them to a free plus shipping offer, and then you know how it goes after that, okay? The upsells, all kinds of cool stuff. And so they send traffic to that thing, and I knew they were making a ton of money. So it's kind of cool because, again, one of those first projects, I go through, I get there, I'm sitting down, and there was all these quizzes. And what I did is I copied all of the quizzes as I went through them. I took the questions and all of the possible answers for every single quiz, and I put them on this sweet Excel sheet, okay? So I compared side by side all the question ones, all the question twos, and so forth. All right, the questions themselves, and then all the possible answers themselves. And it was funny because I started noticing all of these trends, okay? All these trends in all of the quizzes. And I'm kind of a patterns guy, which you guys can probably imagine by now, okay? And I started looking through, there's patterns, and I was like, holy crap, check this out. All of the question number ones and twos are kind of asking the same area of stuff. I was like, interesting, question 3 and 4-ish, around that part of the quiz, it transitions. And they're all asking this kind of stuff. Right? And then I get down to questions 6 and 7. Most of them did not have more than 7 questions. Sometimes 8, but it was usually no more than that. And it was all the same kind of question throughout. And I was like, this is fascinating. Why is this happening? Right? And I started going through and I started deep diving in it, and I ended up writing this outline, seeing the patterns of what was going on inside of each one of these quizzes. And what I did is I actually went through my computer and I found it. Woohoo! So I'm going to go through it. I'm going to read this thing, okay? And I want to walk through the highest converting, some of the highest converting quizzes, okay? Now, what was interesting is like, the reason I'm doing this right now is because, if you guys had a chance to come into my recent live funnel build, some of you guys were able to be on, which was really fun. What I did is, I was teaching about how when you get a funnel that's out the door, right? I always go and I start by focusing on hot traffic first, right? That is the easiest way to get money off the table. And then you take that money and you go dump it into ads, right? And now basically your customers have funded the rest of the entire business, and I've never put a dollar of my own ever into my business because of that very principle, right? That play, I think of them as football plays, by running that marketing play. And so I've done that multiple times. Now, when the hot traffic starts to dry up a little, and I need to go from hot to warm and expand the pot, there's multiple ways for me to do that. All right, I could go and I could change who I'm targeting, which there's a little bit of that goes on when you start to widen the pot and you go from a hot audience to a little bit more of a warm. There's a little bit of that happens, right? That's one option. I could change the ad. I could change what's going on in the funnel. I could change the sales message. I could adapt or change some of the offer. That's a lot of stuff to go switch, right? One of the easiest things that I can go do, rather than change the ad or change the audience or change with this or that or part of the sales message, one of the easiest things to do is to merely change what people are seeing when they click on your ad, right? So instead of them seeing an opt-in page, I put something in front of that lets me warm up the audience before I ever ask for an opt-in. And that's exactly what I've done here, and that's exactly what I wanted to walk through with you guys, okay? Okay, that's why I do these quizzes and these little quiz funnels, so that it lets my audience get warmed up to me before I ever actually opt in or ask them to opt in or even go towards my main thing, right? So in this instance, I'm using it in front of a webinar funnel, all right? So what ended up happening is I went in and I found out this crazy formula, and I was like, holy crap, and ended up writing this dummy quiz that for ClickFunnels so that we could change what people are seeing when they went to clickfunnels.com. And anyway, it was a bunch of fun. This was years ago. I don't remember what actually happened to this, but I dug it back up and I was like, holy crap, this is good stuff, okay? So what I want to do first of all is I wanted to walk through just a few of the actual quizzes, just a few of them that are funnel hacks, right? That I went through, or quiz hacked, so that you guys can see some of the format and some of the patterns inside of here. Okay, this comes from Revolution Golf Quiz. This is the Revolution Golf Quiz, and this is the first question they ask. They ask, are you a man or woman? The reason I'm asking is because men and women tend to suffer from different consistency killers, right? This is for golf, right? This is a quiz in front of a golf product. Number 1, are you man or woman? Right. Number 2, what is your age range? You know, I'm over 50, between 30 to 50, under 30. Question number 3, what's the length of your average drive? Right? It goes less than 150 yards, 150 to 200, 200 to 250, over 250. What's your playing level? Right? And then you go, well, I'm a beginner, I'm an expert, I'm, whatever. Then you go through and you declare your skill level, right? Number 5, in relation to your full swing, what are you having the biggest challenge with? Poor contact, directional control, major consistency issues, right? And then it says, people in your scenario usually suffer from one of these 3 things. Which of these do you suffer from the most? Like hitting thin shots, fat shots, or bottom or low. I miss the center of the ball, or hitting weak shots, right? And they go through and they answer this stuff. And what's interesting is by the end of it, it says, well, based on your answers, right, you probably should have X. Right, put your email address in. We'd like to send you your results, but then we'll also send you a free course or a free report or a free something, right? And then it's just the beginning of the funnel, just literally forwards to the beginning of the funnel. Okay, so think about that for a second. Okay, the next one. This comes from one it's for tennis, called Fuzzy Yellow Balls. Okay, question 1, are you male or female? And I was like, where have I seen that before? Question number 2, how old are you? Where have I seen that before? Question number 3, what's your current skill level rating, right? Question number 4, right? How hard do you typically hit your first serve? And it goes through, and anyway, when you try and hit it harder, some of the most common issues are these. Which one are you? I hit into the net. I hit it long. I don't hit it cleanly, right? Then it goes, people in your scenario typically suffer from one of these 3 things. Which one are you, right? Which of the following best describes you? There were 7 in this one, not 6, right? But it's the same kind of theme. And I was like, wait a second. And I go on to the next one, right? Here's another one about fat loss. Are you man or woman? I was like, what the heck? It's about fat loss now. What's your age range? Number 2. Number 3, when it comes to body shape, usually men or whatever, right? Usually people tend to suffer from one of these 3 things. Which one are you? Right? When it comes to food cravings, right? Which one are you? Which food craving do you give into most? I give into sweets, I give into chocolate, I give into carbs, or none. Right? When it comes to eating habits, which one do you have? Right? When it comes to stress, most people do this. Which one are you? Okay, now when you start looking deeply, this one had actually 10 questions. That was the biggest one, but most of them don't. And that's what I realized. And what I started realizing was throughout, there was a pattern going on, a heavy pattern of the way you approach somebody inside of a quiz. And so I went through and I kind of formulated. Now you guys know I'm kind of a geek when it comes to this stuff. Not kind of, I'm a straight out freaking nerd in this stuff, okay? And I'm proud of that, whatever. It's what makes me good at this. I obsess. And so a little while ago, you guys know I went and I printed out all of the follow-up sequences to some, like, the 5 most profitable webinars I've ever seen Russell do. And I studied. There's paper all over my floors. I mean, it was like 80 sheets. It was all over the place. And I studied deeply the patterns between each one of us. Well, I did the exact same thing for this, okay? And I started going and diving. I didn't have things printed out all over the floor, but I started diving deeply into the format and formula and the pattern of what was making these quizzes successful. Now, there's some fluidness between these, right? Some of them were 6 questions, some were 10, okay? But it's this pattern of question. It's this pattern of thought. It's this pattern that I noticed these quizzes were pulling through a customer that made it most effective. So I want to walk through this with you real quick and teach you exactly what I've been doing. Okay, the first question, the first series of questions have to do with somebody self-identifying, right? But with really low barriers, right? Are you a man or woman? You don't really have to study to answer that question. You know what I mean? You're not having to go to a study hall to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? Are you man or woman? Why would I ask somebody that? Right? What does it have to do with, right? What does it have to do with like anything? Right? When it comes to hitting my golf ball, when it comes to the tennis, when it comes to fat loss, right? Now it might, and that's why it works. Okay, and there's one of the reasons I love this so much is because I'm just getting people to make little micro commitments, the little micro answers. I'm not actually they're not huge questions. Are you male or female? Question 2, what age range are you? And I'm like, oh snap, this is not hard to answer. And that's part of the reason why it works so well. The first few questions get somebody into the habit of clicking. Okay? This is huge. Get somebody into the habit of clicking. All right, question number 3. Or the next phase anyway. Phase number 3. It usually seems to it comes up in question number 3. Or I'm sorry. They have them self-identify questions based on the subject. Right? Are you man or woman? What's your age range? Have you ever built a funnel before? Right? It's self-identifying questions based on the subject itself. Have you ever tried to lose weight? Are you a tennis player? Right? How long have you been playing tennis for? They're self-identifying. That's what is so key about this. Okay, one of the biggest hurdles you have to overcome in a sales message, if you heard one of my previous episodes, right? I talk about why it's important to cause an identity shift in an individual. The reason why these quizzes work so well is because you are literally having them call out their own identity to you. You are not saying, "Oh, you look like this," right? You're having them declare it and say, "Check it out. This is who I am." This is very cool because it puts them in a place. It puts them in a place of vulnerability, not like risky kind, right? Not like where it feels like they're being threatened, but they literally hit a phase of vulnerability. But they're the ones doing it, and you're going to see this as we move forward. Okay, so I have them answer. Number 1, okay, self-identifying questions, male, female, age, right? Next thing, self-identify questions based on the subject. Well, I am this. I am a funnel builder. I am, right? It's their current state according to the subject. I am a tennis player. I do play golf. I am trying to lose weight. I am whatever, right? The next category is you have them declare their level of skill or achievement based on the subject. Well, this is what I usually hit in golf. This is my handicap. Or this is, right, in tennis, right? What's your NR? It was like some rating or whatever. I don't know tennis very well. Okay, but it said, what's your current rating? And it had you go through and list out what rating level you are, right? Does that really have that much to do with the fact that they probably know you could use their product anyway? No, right? The only reason they're doing that is so that you can go in and self-identify and be like, hey, check it out. This is where I am. Ooh, because now what they're starting to do is we move into questions where they are declaring where they are not. Okay? So the third category is self-declare level of skill according to the topic. This is where I am. Or I have been trying to lose weight and these are the programs I've used. Or this is, right, when I'm binge eating, these are the kinds of things I binge eat, right? And they said sugar or fat, carbs or none or whatever, right? All right, the next category is one of the biggest. And it's one of the reasons why I've noticed that quizzes work so well or don't. Okay, and here it is. You start declaring the biggest challenge. Okay, they are self-declaring their biggest challenge pertaining to the subject, right? Oh man, when I hit the golf ball, I notice I top it, or I hit it right on the center, but it's not consistent with direction, or I hit too far underneath it and the thing pops really high. When I'm playing tennis, I notice I hit too much into the net, or I hit too far over, or I'm just not consistent in general. Right? When I'm doing a diet, I've noticed that in the evening times, that's when I get the cravings the most. It asks that. It asks about the cravings. And you go through and you self-select your freaking problem. Okay? That is so crazy because in most classic marketing world, right? Classic marketing folklore, the way this is done, right? A lot of people, they go create the freaking problem. That way they can sell you the solution. Well, in the quiz, they're self-declaring their problem. You don't have to create it. They are going through and they're clicking saying, check it out, I'm here. I'm right here. I declared this is who I am. This is where I am in the subject. And this is the thing that I'm sucking it up at. Guys, this is massive, okay? The psychology behind this is absolutely monstrous. I'm so glad I found this. Anyway, the next thing, okay? Okay, so now think about what we've done here. They've self-declared, this is who I am. This is where I am. This is what I'm struggling with. And the next category is we go into an educate and clarify section. Oh man, those who are in your scenario, who are saying these kinds of responses, typically suffer from one of these three things. Suffer is a key word, okay? So they're declaring their own issue, but now you're gonna have them go in and declare. Now, people in that scenario usually suffer from one of these three things. Which one do you think you're at? It's like, oh man, now how many walls have they self-dropped by this point? They've dropped a lot. These are normal things you're doing in any sales script anyway, which is why I geeked out over this so much when I first did it. I was like, holy crap, this is like a mini sales letter and like a 6-question quiz. It's crazy. It's amazing how effective these things are. It's the reason why I'm using them again, okay? The next thing, I've noticed in a lot of these quizzes, this is like the final thing. Sometimes there's a lot of, there's one aspect of it that's like crazy random, okay? It's one of the final things, super, super ridiculously random. Has nothing to do with anything. Thanks for taking the quiz. By the way, let's say we're talking about the golf one, right? And they go through and they click, I hit the ball, I topped the ball, right? I topped the ball way too many times. There's no consistency. And you're like, oh yeah. You know what? Final question. Were you wearing blue jeans when you did that? You're like, oh man, is that the issue? Right? A lot of times what I've noticed is that there's one of the final questions in some of the most effective quizzes is kind of a random one that's meant to be like, well, you wouldn't think this matters, but it actually does, right? Right? With the diet one. Well, I don't know. Was it a full moon last Thursday? And you're like, crap, it was. Like, I don't know, right? And it puts them in the state of curiosity. So you've brought them through in a very small amount of questions. Here's who I am. Here's where I am, right? Here's what I'm struggling with. And by the way, I know I'm suffering from one of these three things. And you know what? Yeah, I remember I drank a liter of water before working out. Maybe that's the reason why I didn't lose any weight. Something random at the very end. And you've gone through and it's produced this aspect of curiosity right before you say, you know what? Could I email you your results? Put your email in right here. Now it's logical. I can see why. It's logical. It's easy for me to justify giving you my contact, giving you my email address, giving you whatever, right? Right, going in and contributing to the marketing relationship at this point. So anyways, I'm really excited about this because what we've been doing is I've been going in and I just made one of these. And I'm super excited to see how it plays out. But there's like this, so instead of sending traffic to the opt-in page, we're sending traffic to the quiz, okay? Which is cool because at the end of the quiz, I created an offer, okay? And the offer that I've created is, well, hey, if you'd like to, I'd really like to be able to give you the results for your quiz. Number two, though, I want to give you a free little mini course we created to help people that are in your scenario. Again, if you just put your email in, it'll send out to you over the next 3 to 5 days. And this is what we're really doing, okay? And I already have that done. I'm just super excited. As soon as this ends, I'm actually stopping and I'm gonna go in and finish the last 2 things I need to and actually launch the thing, okay? And then on the third thing, what I did is plus, you know what we'd like to do is we're actually gonna give you a free ticket to a web class. And if you just click right here, if you just put your email in, it's actually going to send you over to the ticket page. You can redeem your free ticket. It's going to be there for you. Anyway, you'll get the course dripped out to you. We'll email out to you your results, but then we're also, again, giving you that free ticket. So go ahead and put your email in right now, and that's what you can expect from this next little bit. It's all free. We just wanted to be able to help you from where you are. That's basically kind of the script that I'm doing. So anyway, I'm excited about it. I'm really pumped about it because all that stuff that I'm doing ahead of time, right before the opt-in, is to help create a relationship with a more warm style audience instead of hot like I've been selling. And so it's allowed me to go and expand out. And when I've done this kinds of things in the past, that's what the benefit has been. Without having to change the sales message and go in and adapt the offer or even really change up much of the audience or really even switch up much of the ad. Okay, I can just add in literally a single page in front of the entire funnel, drip out a little tiny mini course, which go figure, every single thing in that mini course is reminding them to go redeem their free ticket to the web class, right? Why don't I do that? but I'm training them to open my stuff. I'm training them to go through and actually realize like, oh man, this guy's not his eyes are massive, but I could probably trust him, right? And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing it, to create a relationship ahead of time and create value ahead of time. And now I've contributed so much to the relationship for free. The dialogue that I've noticed and I've actually seen is, man, if this is his free stuff, I'm gonna wonder what his paid stuff is like, right? And then they go check out anyway, and that's been really helpful. So, anyways, I just wanted to dive in a little bit. I know it's a little kind of a long episode there, and a little bit, I don't know, it's a little bit of a deep dive, and hopefully you guys understood that as I walked through it. If not, I honestly, I would re-listen to this. I'm really excited about this though. This is one of the major keys and one of the marketing plays, right, that I'm running to drop in that next level of cash. When we first started ads, we were putting $1 in and getting $3 to $4 back out. And as is expected with paid advertising, you start to get ad fatigue, right? And so we're putting $1 in now and we get about $2 back out. And I want that average to be a little bit higher, right? So this is one of the easy next plays I'm running to go get that back up and start talking to a broader audience, get a relationship with people, and invite them to come back to the web class. So anyways, I'm excited, guys. Hopefully I enjoyed that. And if you did, please rate it. Please, in iTunes, I really love watching those reviews. I really appreciate that. Actually means a lot to me. And I love reading them. It's kind of a boost for me, to be honest. It's a lot of work putting these episodes out. All right, we repurpose this thing like 22 platforms. It's nuts. So anyways, it really means a lot to me. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Boom! Just try to tell me you didn't like that. Hey, whoever controls content controls the game. Want to interview me or get interviewed yourself? Grab a time now at stevejlarsen.com.